sorry, we got started a minute early, so we'll take a minute. Good.
She just wants me
Just don't be too far away. Sitting, finding our posture, feeling our body, taking a couple of nice deep breaths with a really long out breath. Just feel how the out breath just lets you settle right down into your seat, into the floor. Notice what your body feels like right now. Notice the points of contact, the weight. And bring attention to the sensation of your breath. Pick a spot where you feel it the most. Notice breathing in and breathing out. And a pause. Not trying to breathe any certain way right now, just letting the body breathe and noticing it. And when thoughts, sensations, emotion arise, taking our attention away from the breath, notice that. Oh. And with kindness, let them go. Coming back to just breathing right now. Again and again, noticing and bringing our attention back. Feeling how lucky I am to be able to notice what's going on. Oh. If it's a flood of thoughts and sensations, just noticing. Ah, I'm here right now. Experiencing whatever life has to give me. welcome to an extra day, so to speak, February 29th, 2024. I hope it's a rewarding day for you. And week number 5 of our class. I'm anxious to share with you some things this evening and anxious to hear about how you're all doing with your practice as well. Go ahead, Meg.
Oh, sure. I brought something with me, a little show and tell, because one thing that I use when I meditate is called mudras. And I find, so mudras are gestures, things that you hold, positions for your fingers. There's a lot of science around what happens when we put our fingers in different positions and connecting different parts of our hands together, what happens in our brain. This book I brought along to share in case anybody wanted to look at it. I use it a lot in my classes, but when I'm meditating, there's a mudra for just about anything. It could be a physical complaint, it could be a mental focus, it could be something spiritual. And just by holding a shape in my hand gives me another tool, I guess. There's always a little affirmation. There's a lot of information about each mudra and how long you should hold it and what kind of breaths you should take while you're doing it. They give you a lovely visualization that you can use. And so it's just another way to add to your meditation practice. So mudras, and when you think about when you go to church or your synagogue or wherever you go, the person in front is often using their hands to summon an energy of some sort, reverence or whatever. And so it's similar to that, using your hands in a way to anchor your mind. Even in special ed, I know that they use different positions for kids to hold their hands so that they can stay more focused, they can quiet their mind, they can get less anxious. So that's my share.
Good. We often forget that the body and mind are so connected.
That's right.
And that the body affects the mind and back and forth.
Even back to clapping, such a primal thing that we've done in the past, to make noise, to, help or to be joyful or whatever. The action of all the little neurons that are nerve endings in your hands, and so it's fascinating stuff. There's a whole lot you can dive into, but it is a really easy book. It's not a lot of reading.
So is a mudra like, for me, a stone that I held in my hand because I had so much tension built up. They said that so when I would go to work and I would,
I carry them too.
so yeah, so
Mhm. Sure.
that is,
Sure. It's similar for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Mhm. But it's very specific positions for your fingers and your hands.
and that's what that
versus-
explains
Yeah,
and where to
there's
hold.
like 75 of them.
Okay. Yes, somebody told me that in my class, but I did it and it helped. Like,
Even prayer position, when you pray is a mudra.
mhm.
I have a habit of doing this, and I've often wondered why. When I'm driving, one hand always wraps my thumb. And since I started to pay attention to why I did that, and it seemed like whenever I was insecure, I guess is the word, that I would feel the need to wrap my thumbs into my hands. And then I read that the thumb represents your ego.
They give you emotions.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Any other observations from your practice or things you've noticed this past week?
I guess for me, I'm doing it faithfully every day, maybe 15 to 25 minutes depending on my day. And I noticed that sometimes I was thinking, am I doing this right? You know, all these thoughts like, or should I really be doing more that they're talking about in the book?
Right.
Or should I just be concentrating on my breath? So I'm like all this questioning, but then when I went back and read some of the book, then I felt better, you know. Oh yeah, it is okay, and it's just gonna take time to figure things out and just keep doing it.
For you.
I do not meditate every day.
Okay.
I have other things that I incorporate, so I walk with the dog, or I read, or I listen to music, or I dance to music. Meg. And I don't feel like, I feel like I'm more relaxed when I do different things for me, but that meditation, when I go to work at the sheriff's department, I just did this week, and I noticed that I'll sit in my chair, and when I have a 911 call come in, I know that I pay attention more, but when I'm off, then I just sit here for just a second, and I feel like I meditate because I kind of just let that go with whatever it was. But then when I get home after work, then I know I sit and meditate more. So I don't think I need it every day, but I know that there's points where I really do feel it's a benefit based on my job.
Good.
I would think.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't do it at work, and I would tell him that, but I'm saying that helps before I go and when I'm done, based on my calls.
I think it's kind of an anchor for me in a specific place. I still have trouble getting beyond 15 minutes. It seems like something clicks, even though I have a timer set for 20, my mind starts wandering more at the 15-minute mark. And I try to forgive myself for that. I like the walking meditation, but I think the, step, plant, whatever, that drives me nuts. I just have to walk.
Agree.
Cut you off. You finished? I don't want to cut you off. You're good. I'm trying to improve or increase my time. So I'm like 20, 25, sometimes 30. I did try the walking and saying, I wish so-and-so well, I wish. And so I would go through like all of my family first and the grandchildren. I wish you well, Luke, I wish you well. Each one of them as I'm walking. And on a cold day, I'm walking in the house. So I have like 3 stories. So I'm walking up these steps, going through that room, going up that step, coming around, going through the basement. But like I said to Jim before I came, when I usually walk outside, for some crazy reason, all of a sudden I'm counting. Why am I counting? What does it matter? Why am I counting? But I found saying, I wish you well, repeating that, more satisfying, uplifting. I like that. So like I say, I'm playing, but in the back of my mind, like I say, we're questioning ourselves. Well, am I multitasking? Trying to do cardio in here and wish you well and counting. But the counting went away. I like the substitute. I like that. So I don't know. I'm still playing with it. Yeah.
Good.
And I still feel like the rocking chair, quiet. That's the best place I feel where I can really concentrate on my breath. I mean, yes, my mind wanders, but I can really bring it back. The thing that I don't like is that timer going off. It just does. I can make it quiet in another room. It still makes me jump.
The one that Megan has used in the past is, well, we've had music on in the background, like some kind of live meditation music, and then the timer going off is actually the music. Mutes for a
So I play
second.
like meditation music for
Sometimes.
us. some of the time, just as like white noise, you know, it might just be singing bowls or Native American flute or.
And so when that stops,
that's
then
very
you're
It just like,
relaxing.
right, and then, and it just,
Oh.
just, if there's, my kids are home and they're playing guitar and piano, you know, it's just like something to kind of drown everything out. But yeah, then when the timer goes off,
not
it
real
just
abrupt.
stops the music.
Right, that's more general, I like that idea. Thank you.
Has anybody tried different chairs?
I bought one of these, I love it, and I know
I've tried just about every chair in the house and, you know, moving chairs around. But I found an Eames chair and it's a special chair for posture. The Eames, they designed furniture and therapeutic devices during World War II out of curved wood.
Oh,
And that I find to be the most satisfying chair, and that's my chair now. I always use that. The other ones were too soft, other ones are too hard, and too
like
high.
Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me of when my mother worked for a chiropractor, they used to have, they knelt, but they were pretty upright.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
Yeah.
that looked like it was just
That
wood
chair,
that was
yeah.
curved,
Yeah.
like you're saying too, so I wondered if it's the same company. That's good you found one you like.
how are you doing, Kate?
Well, with the nice weather, I've been walking and I found myself seeing people that I recognize and thinking in my head, I wish you well, I wish you good health, I wish you ease, I wish you to be safe. And yeah, when I was done with my walk, I really felt a lot better. It just was very, just a good feeling. Yeah, so I think that chapter really kind of hit with me that, okay, when you see other people, just think happy thoughts for them.
I'm so pleased that so many of you are already finding the benefit of this loving kindness meditation.
Yeah.
I think of in the first 4 weeks of that, we're directing our mindfulness very inward, concentrating on the breath, noticing our thoughts, noticing our body in different ways, noticing our emotions. This week and next week, we're a little bit more of taking the mindfulness outward, which many people, as you have noticed already, find very satisfying, and the neuroscience they're showing is demonstrable that they can find the most pronounced effects of neuroplasticity with this kind of meditation. It really changes our nervous system for the better. And I think that's helpful to know that. You know, you wonder, you know, why think good thoughts about other people? Well, we all know that when we do good and feel good about other people, we feel better ourselves. So right there, it's a win-win. And yeah, maybe it has some effect on them too. It will in some way. And I found, we'll go through the meditation, which is the main part tonight, but I was looking at this, kind of investigating this whole topic of kindness, generosity, altruism. Richie Davidson at Madison says, science has shown that we all have an inborn tendency to be kind. This tendency needs to be nurtured in practice and in community. So that's one of the tenets, I think, of meditation, is that we can train ourselves to be even better by practicing. Jim had given me this book that is a lot about the neuroscience of meditation. And the author, Lisa Miller, talks here about being kind. This is on page 222 of The Awakened Brain. They found that there was an enhanced cortical thickness, in other words, structural protection against depression, in people who had altruism and love of neighbor as self, suggesting a robust protective benefit of relational spirituality, a personal spirituality that emphasizes both our commitment to other humans and our awareness of a transcendent or higher power and how divine and human love are linked. So, part of what we'll talk about tonight is not just repeating certain phrases and building loving kindness in our minds, but to begin to think about how we can carry this out into our daily lives. And I'm just going to talk about this for a minute before we go to the practice. And here's some of the things I underlined this time from week 4 of Loving Kindness. Loving kindness meditation has the power to change our story. When we alter the way we pay attention, we get a very different sense of the intricacies of someone else's life. It's really an experiment in attention, in being more fully present with ourselves and others, in being willing to step out of the rut of habit and look at ourselves and others in a different way. We can experiment with being open and aware, taking an interest, connecting. I have a couple of nice things from my friend about this. The greatest gift you can give or receive is to know someone. So it's about mindfulness. It's about paying attention intentionally. And when you pay attention, you may get hints of what they want and need. And you can decide, can I help with that? It's something I really need to work at. It's really wonderful to have a skill to practice to do this. Like, I was trying to figure out what to get my friend for Christmas. And she's very picky, you might say. She has high standards. But also very simple, so, doesn't want too much. So I said, oh, let's pay attention. And I got some hints. Not very direct hints. Now she's starting to give me direct hints. This is what I want. Because I need it. But there's another skill here. I was reading about it also in this other book called Becoming Bodhisattvas. And in Buddhism, a bodhisattva is a person who is living to gain knowledge and enlightenment, all for helping others. And one skill that I read about and have heard about is when you pay attention to other people, you can very often just notice something positive about them and bring it up to them. Oh, I've noticed you're very kind, you're very thoughtful, you're so smart. Just a little thing like that is a way of expressing this love. It makes me feel better, it makes them feel better. It makes the world a better place. So another little skill I'm working on. So, oh, I feel so blessed to be continually finding these ways. So this practice tonight of the loving kindness meditation, as Sharon teaches it, is basically saying some phrases, as you've been saying, that help you bring your attention outward, but also to yourself, because we need it for ourselves as well. And so it's helpful to have phrases to say. And Sharon has a bunch of recommendations of phrases, and you may want to pick out some of hers or make some of your own and write them down. And I'm going to share with you the ones that I use with the chant. So there's a little song that goes with these 4 phrases, which I'll share with you in a few minutes. But the 4 phrases I use are, may you be filled with loving kindness. And when I expand on that, what does that mean? It means, may you experience kindness. May you feel it, and may you be able to feel it, and may you be able to express it. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Or just hoping that you're going to be okay, It's like a prayer, and you can use it as a prayer, but in this practice, we're just using it to just express things. It's not directed in any particular way. It's directed toward people and to ourselves. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And I have a handout of all this.
Okay.
Peaceful and at ease. Well, yes. And part of that is being mindful. Take some time to be quiet, right? And go inward. May you be peaceful and at ease. I hope you are able to do that. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. And what is happiness? Well, a big part of it is just being satisfied with what is right now. Being grateful for what this is, even as hard as it is sometimes. And so, in the traditional practice, which I'll go through with right now, we go through sort of a litany of different people. We start with ourselves. Although some people, and I don't quite get this, some people find it really hard to express kindness for themselves, and they wait for that till later. But we'll start with ourselves, and then we'll gradually expand it outward. We'll think of a particular person that we're close to. And this person might be far away, very close physically. Even someone who's passed away is okay. Somebody that we are close to. And then we can go beyond that. We can go to somebody we're acquainted with but don't really know, that's a good one. And of course, this is one we can do spontaneously when we're waiting somewhere and we see someone we don't even know, and we can just say, like you've been talking, you're on your walk, you see somebody, may you be happy. And we can go to groups of people. You know, I often go through lists of all the people I'm close to. Sometimes I do them in groups, which is kind of fuzzy, but I like that. And it is also valuable to focus this on a person that we have problems with, that we don't agree with, that we may find irritating, or that we think is evil even, okay? And we can express these toward that person. How does that work? Well, we can hope that they get better, but it also just says, oh yeah, they have issues too. And so we're part of this human family. And lastly, kind of expressing it outward to everyone, not only all people here, people farther away, the animals, the trees, the nature, the world. We can go out there. So if you will, please, let's go through this a minute. Just sitting and finding our base here, sitting and breathing. And kind of get a picture of ourself in our mind. Maybe say your name to yourself. Self. May you be filled with loving kindness. Picturing yourself and saying this phrase silently several times. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. Maybe saying it with each breath. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Letting go of that image of ourself, bring to mind the person that we are close to. Say their name to yourself. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Now let's bring to mind someone that we know that is suffering. Emotionally, physically, perhaps they're ill, perhaps they're going through a really hard time in their life. Picture that person and say their name to yourself. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May whatever ails you may some healing come, whatever way it comes. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you not struggle too hard against whatever is afflicting you. May you be happy. Letting go of that person, let's think of someone that we don't know, but we see them occasionally, perhaps someone who works at a store or at a post office, a neighbor that we see walking their dog, or someone that is a passerby that we might know their name, we might not, but picture that person. Say to them, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Now bring to mind a difficult person, someone who irritates us, who we don't agree with. Don't bring to mind right now someone who has hurt us very badly. That's a little more challenging, and you could get to that. But for right now, just bring to mind someone that rubs you wrong. Maybe someone at work or in the family. May you be filled with loving kindness. Everyone needs love, kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. I don't think it hurts to say, may you see the error of your ways. But just kindness. May you be happy. Whatever has brought you to this time right now, I wish you to be well and happy. And lastly, bring our attention out, spreading our arms figuratively out wider and wider to all the people in this room, all the people in these communities, in this state, in this country, in other countries. to the oceans and the sky and forests and animals. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May this universal force of love just shine. May all beings be well, even amid all the strife and all the damage. Find some wellness. May you be peaceful and at ease. May all beings be happy. And maybe thinking to ourselves, yes, how can I help bring this universal force of love my own little way? Before we talk about this, I'm going to share with you this handout. This handout, those of you who have it can find it. On one side, it says the 4 immeasurable qualities, loving kindness, and it also has the chant of goodwill. So it might be in different forms, but.
For boundless quality.
Boundless, that's another way of putting it, yes. That's one of the originals, that has a little cartoon on it,
Yes,
which is
it
kind of nice too.
Thank you.
Take that one. So, this copy says is the 4 immeasurable qualities, and you can think of them as different ways of bringing kindness. And the first one is loving kindness, what we just did, wishing well to oneself and others. And it can be a feeling, but it's not so much a feeling, it's an intention that guides our lives. And we may not feel anything about any of these people, but just bringing our attention, mindfulness to them, is one step. So that's what this is about. The second one is compassion, and that goes a little bit farther. In this, we do try to experience a connection with another person, another group of people, engaging with the sorrow and pain of others and of ourselves. So compassion can be a two-edged sword. It brings us closer to them, but if we, there are something called the near enemy of compassion is pity. Oh, too bad, that's not what we're talking about. It's kind of like it, but it's the opposite, sort of. So we're talking about just trying to picture what other people are going through. So this is particularly helpful and easy, perhaps, with a friend who is suffering and just saying, oh, I feel for you, I feel with you. But, the people in Gaza, the people in Ukraine, just saying, oh, just feeling what they're going through is a step in connection. And the third one, sympathetic joy, is about noticing happiness. there are a lot of people who are doing well. I'm saying, wow, oh, I feel your joy. I tell often that I do this on the golf course because it's a little bit competitive, you know. And somebody makes a good shot on the green, and I say to myself, oh, I wish you had gone in the sand trap. Oh no, what does that help me? Oh, I'm so happy you made a good shot. So there are many times in the day we can use this when you catch yourself at that. Having happiness for the success and well-being of others. And the fourth one is equanimity, and Sharon mentioned these in her book, in this chapter. Equanimity is bringing a balance to this. Acceptance of what is. And so we say these phrases, oh, may you be well, may you be happy. And sometimes Sharon talks about how we can get frustrated. I've been saying loving kindness for you for a month and you don't seem any happier. Well, equanimity is about realizing this may have no effect. We do it anyway. We do it anyway because in some way it helps us, at least. Acting without attachment to the fruits of our actions. So it's not only thinking these thoughts, but when we give a gift, if they don't thank us, well, that kind of grates on us a little bit. Can we just say, well, I guess they're not ready to say that right now, and it's okay. I didn't give them this to get thanks, did I? I gave it as a gift. Grace. We receive gifts all the time. So thankfulness is sort of part of that too. Oh, thank you. Whether we say it or not. The next part is the loving kindness meditation. And these are some phrases from a teacher, Susan Mickle, who I have studied with briefly, very profound, precise teacher, and she expands these phrases a little bit, so I'm just going to let you go through that on your own, but I think it's very helpful. And there's also in here something called the chant of goodwill. So this is a chant that I find helpful. And I'll go through it. There's 3 different verses, as you will. The first verse is me. The second verse is you. And the third verse is all. And I'll go through all 3 verses 2 times. And if you feel like joining me, you can. The little arrows kind of point to where the note goes up. What would that be called?
Intonation.
Yes, the
Melody.
the pitch rises and falls. So this is a way to help remember these phrases, and so it's made it part of my life. So may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May all be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be happy. May May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May all be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be happy. So I hope you all will find some value in this and try it. And I know you already are in your own way. We're coming to the end of these 6 weeks. Next week, I'm also, is the last chapter in the book is about where do we go from here, about bringing your practice into your life. But I'm also going to be talking about and expanding this idea of expanding mindfulness out from ourselves out. I'm talking about mindful communication, mindful listening, and mindful speaking. And these are also skills we can build with practice. So we're going to be talking about that. Jim found that over the last year I did 2 extra classes, weeks 7 and 8, which I'm not doing this time, that were about mindfulness of physical pain and emotional pain. And Jim felt so helped by this that he'd like to lead a group. If any of you want to come, think about that. There's some handouts and stuff. Maybe Jim will talk a little bit more about it next week. And if you would like to come here for an extra week, share. I'll be thinking of you from afar. And I will, I promise. And Rebecca will be recording it again one more time. So please come back next week. We'll close with sitting meditation and some time to talk, maybe about this practice or about whatever we like, okay? Just sitting and letting all the words settle, letting our bodies settle. Notice our breath. And as thoughts and feelings come and go, let them come and go. We're sitting still here. Our mind is like a clear blue sky, pure, loving, paying attention, shining on everything. But the clouds come by. Whether they're pleasant or unpleasant, we notice them. Oh, there's a thought. Oh, just let it pass. Rest in that clear blue sky of awareness. So we'll keep the recording going for a little bit while we share any questions or observations for a minute before we call Rebecca in to be more informal.
I just wanna say, as a communications instructor, it's everything I can do not to talk more in this class. Whenever you say something, and I just wanna, like, you know, and so I just get so much out of it. And I do use a lot of it in my classes with the adults.